Hey guys, welcome back to Angel Angela. And on this podcast, I want to talk to you guys about how narcissists will call you pet names and interrogate you. So, what do I mean by call you pet names? You know, when I say pet names, this could be, baby, honey, sweetie. They talk to you like you're their child. This is something that many people overlook, and I'm going to break it down to you guys why it's so important to watch out for these people because not all of them are empaths. And when I first, realized this, it happened when I was working at this job or whatever, and I had this elderly lady come in. And, this person reminded me of like my grandmother. I feel like at this point in my life, I was well aware about narcissists. I was watching out for everyone, females and males. I was watching out for everyone. But when this old lady came up to me, I don't know why, I naturally became drawn and hypnotized by her. And she just kept talking to me like a grandmother. And she was telling me about her grandson and her son and all these fake stories, basically. And she ended up robbing me. So that was the first time that I was like, oh, snap. You can't trust anyone. People patronize you and pretend to be good people, and they do it by hypnotizing you, by calling you pet names. And that's what this video is about. A lot of times these type of narcissists have a pattern, meaning that this person likes playing a role. This narcissist likes playing a role, so they might go and seek people to befriend, to say, hey, you're my best friend. And now they have a lot of people they say, that are their best friend. That's their thing. That's just what they say, and these people are not really trustworthy. This is a pattern. So this person could be someone that pretends like they're Mother Teresa, and, they can literally come into your life pretending to be someone that's helpful, someone that's going to be there for you, someone that understands, and they're telling you, hey, you can call me mom. So this is something that I just noticed over time because, I was raised by a narcissist, and I saw how she approached different people, even including myself. Knowing that she's not my mother, and not just knowing that she's not my mother, but trying to turn me against my real mother. So I started to notice like a lot of narcissists, they like to call people pet names. So they, it can start off with, hey, sweetie, it could start off like that. But as time progresses and these people get older, they don't really change, and that's when they'll start playing a role of a mother, a sister, and it becomes a pattern. You're not the only person they've done that to, so when you run across these people that you thought cared about you, and they, they're not really family, but they call themselves family, or they might be family, and they know that your mother passed away or your dad passed away. So, this person wants to take over as your guardian, or they want to take over as your handler. They want to handle you. They want to control you. So that's basically what they're doing when they're coming to you asking, if you need any help. They're really coming to you to control you. They're really coming to you thinking that they can they can unite a close relationship with you so that they can puppet you. So this is what happens to a lot of people. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a pet name, This could be anything. You're at work and you have a coworker that's calling you a name that you don't want to be called by, or you have a friend that is telling you, hey, I'm going to call you this nickname. Not every person, is a narcissist, but a lot of them, you're going to see that they have like certain patterns to hypnotize you, to make you feel close to them. It's literally like Hansel and Gretel, and it's like they're setting up traps for you and you don't even know it. So, respect is something that is not just given. So a lot of these narcissists, they're going to try to gain that trust right away, and they'll do it in any any way possible. They'll use the way they look to disguise themselves as a friend by calling you these pet names. So I tested this theory out because I felt like every time I get around people that pretend like they're your sister, cousin, best friend. Every time I've ever had someone that, called me a best friend, but then they call multiple people best friend. Every time I've had people try to relate to me as a sister, as a cousin, as a friend, as a family member or something, as a mother, father, whatever. Every time I've had these type of people try to play a role in my life, and really, I already have someone that filled that role. I have a mother. I have a father. I have siblings. But when I've had people try to fill that role by calling me a pet name, calling me a name that's going to make me feel relatable to them, I've always had bad experiences. Like every time. So when I started to notice, how people belittle people in public, and it's not just me. I've seen people, call people sweetie, hun, and these people are older than them. And it's like, well, maybe that's how they talk, or maybe they do that because, they're just nice people. But I started to notice that a lot of people are very trusting of those people because they seem nice. But in reality, they're trying to gain control over you right away by hypnotizing you. They're hypnotizing you by the way that they're talking to you. So when you have those type of people, if you were to tell these people, hey, please don't call my husband sweetie, honey, like that's rude, like you're our server, please don't do that. They'll act like you're doing something to them, but in actuality, they're patronizing you. So when people are calling you pet names in public that you don't know, complete strangers, trying to make it seem like they're relatable to you or they're in charge or they're, you're thinking it's their style, but really they're doing it to reassure themselves of who they are. So they're trying to gain control over you automatically without you even knowing. It actually fuels them to be able to do this. Oh, hey, sweetie. Hey, hun. They're talking to you like, with a sense of control, and what makes it crazy is that a lot of narcissists do things, and when you call them out on it, they make it seem like you're thinking very sinister. It is patronizing. It is often used as a way to diffuse an insult or a command. So you're commanding them to do something. You could go to someone's job. You're commanding them, hey, this is my order. And now they're using your command as an insult. So now they're insulting you to diffuse the command you just gave them, or to indicate that the speaker thinks the other person is inferior. So they use this to indicate that the speaker thinks the other person is inferior. So the person calling you these names is patronizing you. They feel insulted by their own job, their own life. So now they're doing things to get that control and to command you and to feel superior to you, even when they feel like they're in an inferior situation. They try to gain control over you and who you are as a person right away. They have to establish authority, and they have to let everyone know, that they're here to stay, So they try to make themselves bigger than what they are. So this person doesn't necessarily have to be someone who is successful, or someone who is coming around you calling you brother, sister, or hey, moms. This could be a stranger. This could be someone that's like, hey, you remind me of so and so, or hey, or some, a waitress that keeps coming to your table, and in order for her to feel confident and feel as if she's not at a low level in order to make herself feel as if she's superior to you because she's a narcissist, and she feels as if, I know you think I'm nothing because I'm waiting these tables, I'm serving you, but I have a lot of money, or my dad owns this restaurant. When you're dealing with narcissists that want to gain control over you right away, they'll do it in a way where they do it very quickly. And they always do it in the beginning. So this is why a lot of people will tell you, think back to the beginning when you met the narcissist and think back on things that they were doing. They were probably invading your space, invading your privacy, or they did something that caught you off guard. And then they made it seem like they've been knowing you for a long time. So they try to become very familiar to you right away. So, this could be someone using a slang name, and they're thinking it's okay to say this to you. And then they're like, hey, my kids look like you. So they automatically want to have that power over you, and you're letting them know, hey, don't talk to me like that. Don't call me that. And they get offended instead of just understanding why you feel the way you feel. So the moment that you set a boundary with these people, they'll start interrogating you. Now they want to ask you questions. They're asking you why they can't do this, why they can't do that. They're interrogating you instead of just not doing it. Just don't say it to me, and they'll make it seem, again, like they're relatable to you, but you do not know them. Then what they do is that they start to treat you the way they treat the people that they do know, the people that they're familiar with. They're trying to categorize you, and now they're trying to be familiar with you, but instead they're actually disrespecting you. They might even argue with you about what they said, and now they even slander you and say it to your face to make you mad. So you're dealing with someone that's calling you a pet name. They know they shouldn't call you a pet name, and now if you're offended, now they're slandering you. They're calling you this pet name even more, like you're their slave or something. They want that control over you. So people do these things and they act like they don't know what they're doing, but they know exactly what they're doing. Especially when you're dealing with a narcissist who portrays like they're a victim. So they're always victimizing themselves. And now they're trying to make people perceive you the way that they wanted to perceive you in the first place. So in situations where they feel like they can't gain control, they will say you remind them of someone, or they'll say, you remind me of my mom. But that's to make you feel familiar with them and basically put your guard down with them. This person is trying to get gain some type of control over you. So it might start off with you're being nice to this person, you're running some errands for them because they're old, but then they're calling you for no reason. They're making you do things when they don't really need it to be done, and they're not being considerate of your time. So these are kind of tactics that a lot of narcissists do to gain control over someone, and then they expect you to do it all the time. And if you might not have anything going, then you might do these things, but you're telling yourself, I'm going back to school this semester and things are going to change. So you'll see that the moment you're gone, now they're talking bad about you. They're telling people you don't talk to them. They're gossiping about you because they've already felt from the start that they've gained some type of control over you. They might say, hey, that's like my daughter, but that's not your mom. You're like, they were there for you maybe at a certain time of your life. So, and really they were there to benefit from it. They might have never been there for you in other times. And they just found this opportunity to use to gain control over you because someone's been controlling them, or someone might have been controlling both of you, but this person still is trying to act relatable, familiar to you, and they're trying to gain control from the start. So this is why they need as much information they can about you. Once they know everything they feel like they need to know about you, now they change. Now they're different. Now they treat you with a lack of respect. Now you see that they're admiring someone else right away, and then they're stealing everything they can steal about that person. They're like an agency. Narcissists are like their own personal agency, so they need to make sure that they get some type of authority over you, almost as if they own you or they're superior to you. So you'll see, these people, they'll be at work and they're trying to let you know, hey, I'm a celebrity on the internet, like I'm celebrity famous, but they look nothing like what they look like in person, and you don't know because you're thinking you look like a regular person. You're my waiter, but you keep calling me honey, sweetie, and you're doing all of this in front of my partner, and you're doing it as a lack of I'm in power, I'm in control. So you'll see that these people will question you, if you drive a nice car or something, and, you just work hard for your things because you know what it's like when you're with a narcissist and they take away everything from you. They strip you down. So now you work hard for what you have, and they're sitting here hating on you and spying on you and, strangers that you don't even know. And they're wondering, why do you have that and they don't have it? They don't even know your story. They don't even know what you've been through. They don't even know where you're at, where you're trying to go. They're asking you questions right away. You don't even know these people right away. I've talked about this before because it's happened to me too many times where I'm like, what do these people want? They want me to be homeless or something? They want me to not have a nice car? Like, what's wrong with these people? Why are they so mad? Why? Because a lot of them are gathering together like cults secretly. They're making eye contact with each other. They're trusting each other based on feeling familiar to one another. These people are trusting people that are familiar to them. And these are the enemies, and they're trying to bring you down. They're trying to bring you down. But the people that are their true enemies are actually right in front of them. So they're so busy working hard to break you down, to ask you questions about yourself. What do you do? Did you put these tires on your car? Did your car come tinted already? Where did you get these rims? Oh, okay. I like your interior. Did it come like this? What kind of job do you have? You must make a lot of money. They're watching you. They're always watching you. So when they come up to you and they're like, "Hey, sweetie, hey, hun," all of that type of behavior, it's not by accident. It was from the start, the moment you met them. They did something. They invaded your personal space to where you were alarmed. You were alarmed, or they did something that was off, but then you let it go and you forgave them because you were like, oh, whatever, not a big deal. And that was the moment the narcissist felt like they had control over you. Sometimes in life, we have to make people feel like they're in control, but we have to know that we're allowing them to feel like they're in control just because they don't play a big role into our lives. So these are things that you'll see on an everyday basis, but you're too busy in your world to get wrapped up into their world. And what you will notice when you show them that you don't care because you're so wrapped up into your world, they're constantly doing things like to say, hey, I'm here. Hey, pay attention to me. They're staring at you the whole time, and you're literally minding your own business. You were looking for someone to help you out with something. You caught that person's glance already, but you already know they're a narcissist based on how they spoke to you. So you don't do anything to make them feel you don't want to deal with them. That's how you ignore them, how you don't give them power, because they try to get that power over you like, hey, I'm the manager. It's almost like it's like some crazy energy where you could feel it. It's like they'll start talking to you like you're a child. They don't know how old you are. They just think you're they'll belittle you right away. And the way when you start feeling that energy right away, you don't even let these people know because you're not in their world. Or you might let them be themselves and you're like, whatever, right? You might know that this person's trying to give you the runaround. So you're like, I'm not even going to mess with this person because they're going to take a long time. They're not going to process my payment right away because they're going to play games. I can tell already. They're here to play games with people. Now, what really confirmed this theory to me was not just what I went through, the narcissist that, raised me, but it was the fact that I shared my story with someone that also went through something similar based off that person, that same person that did that to me, did it to them as well. So they have a pattern of doing that. And when I shared that with that person, they knew how I felt about that. And they told me, you can call me mom. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm not stupid. I've already went through this. I've already dealt with these type of problems. People do this to people. They mess with people. They confuse you. They turn you against your own folks. So, I'm already on guard, but I wanted to prove this theory. So I let this person be themselves. I didn't let it bother me. And even though I'm a very strong person, I'm very, strong-minded about how, my belief systems and my boundaries, I'm very strong. I feel very strongly about those things. And I don't think that person realized that I'm serious about what I say. And I knew eventually we were going to bump heads because I already knew they wanted that control over me. But I'm thinking I'm going to give you a chance, right? You should always give people a chance. Don't think that everyone is a narcissist, but this is just signs that you look for. So I distanced myself because, in order for me to make these videos and give people the, good energy at all times, I need to feel myself too. No one else is going to feel me but myself. So I had to feel myself. And during this time where I had to kind of get away, or I had to just leave for the weekend and do my own thing, and I'm not answering any calls, I'm not going to get on social media, it's just me time to clear my mind. I already knew this person, they want to be in control. So they're going to call people and try to get information about where I'm at. They're going to question why I haven't called them. They're expecting me on vacation to be on the phone to make them feel better, because they don't have control over their own life. And they want control over me. So they're sitting here telling me, you can call me mom, you can do this. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm a grown woman. I don't call anyone mother. I don't have time to call it. That's like me calling someone dad. Like I don't need to call people anything when I already have those things. I already have a mom and dad. I already have those things. And I'm not expecting anyone to play that role because they're not obligated to. And you have to prove yourself. And I felt like, okay, I'm going to test this person out. I'm going to test this theory out. I'm doing my own thing. This person's calling different people. I'm like, here it goes. She's acting like a flying monkey. Okay. Then I'm like, just for trying to get information about me, I'm going to take longer just to see what that's going to do. I'm not going to contact you. I'm going to keep living my life like I was doing before you. You're not my mother, right? Then now they're telling people, after all I've done so much for her, I've been like a mother to her because, I don't have a daughter. All I have is boys. I've always wanted a daughter, so-and-so. How could she treat me like this, as if I'm doing something to actually hurt them? But now they're making people have this perception of me that I'm evil, right? So that's where I feel like you talk too much. Because now people are perceiving me as being bad. So now you're messing up what we have because of what you're trying to tell strangers. That's like going online and talking about my personal problems with people and they don't know us, right? That's how I look at that. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Now they're telling people the things that they did for me. And the moment that they did that one thing for me, I already knew, because I had already been studying this person. I already knew if it came down to this point, that's exactly what they were going to do. And they weren't going to appreciate all the times I was there for them. They were going to focus on what they did for me, which does not amount to the things I've done for them over a period of time. So if they didn't have gas, I'm giving them gas money. If it's their kids' birthdays, I'm giving their kids gifts, birthday gifts. I'm giving their kids money. I'm taking their kids out to Starbucks to get Starbucks. I'm giving you money for groceries when your narcissistic husband's not there for you. I've done a lot of things over a period of time, but they're going to point out that one thing they did for you, and then they're going to use that. I'm like a mother. I'm like a mother to her, and I've only been close to you for 2 years. You haven't been in my life to even call yourself that, 2 years is nothing. I was in a relationship with the narcissist way longer than that, and I'm not sitting here acting like he's my dad. So that's what I realized. I was like, okay, what she doesn't know is that I just put her through a test to see if she could even be worthy of calling herself that. And what she does is she uses the things that I said to her to go and tell other people things about how I feel about what they did. Now she's talking to my enemies. Now she's trying to mend relationships with people I left in the past, and she's bringing it up like it's something new. Now she's befriending these people, but acting like that's not what she's doing. So you'll explain to people, things that you went through in life, your mom, your dad. You'll explain things that you went through. It doesn't bother you, especially when you're an adult and now you have your own children, or you're a grandparent. You're just telling people your story, but now these people come at you with pet names and trying to be familiar to you and try to interrogate you and get information about you to use it against you. But they came to you as a friend, and this person's been around for 2 years, and you don't know. This is why you don't allow people to call you certain names or try to play a certain role in your life until you have really tested their spirit. This is why it's disrespectful to call people pet names that you do not know, because you haven't gave them that you haven't gave them that respect or that trust to even do so. So everything that you do out in this world, you should just do it out of respect to others. Treat others the way you would want them to treat you. Don't make people feel like they owe you anything, and don't interrogate people about who they are, what they have, why do they have it. That's rude. And that's what you're going to deal with in this narcissistic world. And this is why you have to stay true to yourself. Know who you are. Do not allow these people, how they feel about you, how they view you, how they talk to you, to affect you, because these people are the type of people that go out into the world triggering people, trying to gain control over people because they don't have control over their own life. So this person can be, wealthy, and they can have their own business, but the moment you go into their business, it doesn't feel like somewhere you would want to shop or someone you would, they try to make it seem like, oh, this is your neighborhood coffee shop. But when you go in, it's like going into hell. It's like going into a dungeon, because this person is constantly watching you. Or you just sat your computer down. Hey, hun, I know you just connected to the Wi-Fi, but are you can't, hun, you can't connect to the Wi-Fi without buying a coffee, So they come to you very nice, pet names and stuff like that, but they're just trying to gain control. And you're like, hey, I'm just sitting my stuff down. I was going to, but you're watching me like a hawk, and now I don't feel comfortable doing so. So, this is just something I wanted to talk over when it comes to family, friends, the people closest to you. A lot of people try to feel, even coworkers, these people, they'll click up with other people because they're familiar with how that person their appearance and things like that. And, they try to connect with other people who are familiar. So if you're dealing with a narcissist, and they're surrounded by people, a lot of times the people they're surrounded by are narcissists themselves, and everyone is playing different positions. So, be careful out there, you guys. I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, and peace. If you guys want to book with me, my booking information is on the description. And I will talk to you guys on the next podcast. Bye.